Who's the ultimate sensitive crybaby among the Fab Five, and who has no tears left to cry?
We were photos of us everywhere.
Flipping out, crying.
See the exclusive and never done before emotional ranking of the Fab Five icons. Tan France, labeled as one stingy tear crier. At the bottom of the list is Mr. French Tuck France. This expert's main goal is to transform his hero's rags into robes, like Cinderella's pumpkins turned into a magnificent carriage.
Everybody's ready?
Whoa!
Nice. That's a great jacket.
Look how good
Amazing.
you
Oh, I love the
babe.
boots.
Tan does an incredible job bedazzling the looks, but being emotional is one thing he's not the best at, and here's why. Each hero's journey takes an emotional turn, unveiling of their past, lack of confidence and self-worth, making the experts go home heavy-hearted. This fashionista, though, barely drops a single tear during the Queer Eye hero's emotional breakdowns. Tan said, "Tears? Never heard of them." Don't believe me? Try Googling Tan France crying. Error not found. Remember one of the most tear-jerking stories shared with the Fab Five? When the guys watched their hero Skylar J share a moment with the audience about him undergoing surgery and finally waking up in the body he always imagined himself in, a close-up of each and every member of the Fab Five showed that the experts couldn't contain their tears. Except Tan.
Oh. He just looked down for the first time.
France has never cried on camera. I physically can't. I don't know what it is. I just sit there thinking, come on. It's the one thing I really dislike about myself. Nothing makes Tan vulnerable or bring on the tears. Except that one time. The episode with AJ was the exception. The hero had a very emotional coming out to his stepmom, and France finally gave in. Little secret, the moment was so moving, Tan had to ask for a break. How come I don't remember that? Big bummer. None of my tears made it into the cut, revealed Tan, but I was crying so hard at one point I could not do it anymore. So tear count would be 1.5? Moving on to place number 4, Karamo Brown, labeled the unshakable agony aunt, the culprit of every dramatic ordeal on the show and the Oprah Winfrey of the Queer Eye crew, Karamo Brown. Every time the director cuts to the Karamo hero talk, I grab my tissues. The truth is, Karamo's calling is to make other people cry and express their feelings, yet there are times when the star can't help but give in to his own emotions. But instead of crying himself, Karamo enjoys watching other people cry. The culture expert revealed that the creators of the show even asked him to avoid crying scenes so they could maintain the happy tone of the series, but Karamo was not vibing with it. My job is to figure out how I can make this guy cry, and not in a sadistic way, but to get him to reach a breakthrough. When I see people getting emotional and the crying, it makes me so happy. And when I say happy, it sounds like really crazy, but we don't have enough cathartic moments. We don't get to cry and express ourselves. Interesting confession, but I dig it. Karamo Brown sees right through you, but do we see through him? Being a full-time psychotherapist for the heroes requires going through a lot of past trauma. No wonder Karamo ends up spilling a tear himself. Out of all the Fab Five, his weeping is the most justified. When it comes to listening to his heroes' confessions, Brown is on a mission to comfort them.
And encouraging, you are exactly what I want to be in terms of a Black person. You are yourself.
Uh-oh, are we seeing a tear? Even Jonathan is tearing up and it's not even directed at him yet. Not gonna lie, Brown does his best during the hero's confessions, but when one of the show's heroes is blooming with joy, Karamo's emotional shield instantly melts.
This got me.
Gotcha. Now let's talk Bobby Burke, labeled as I cry, but none of it gets into the final cut. You want to play a game called How many memes about Bobby being the least included in the show can I fit in 10 seconds? The interior designer expert spends the least time chatting with a hero about their personal journey. He has to Marie Kondo the hell out of the hero's living spaces instead. While others fuss around with hummus and carrot snacks, apologies to Anthony, Bobby is redoing a whole church.
About his place in the Lutheran Church. Not only does Bobby give the Church of the Atonement a major makeover, but Karamo also brings Noah to meet with some other LGBTQ+ members of the clergy.
And 10 seconds of it makes it into the final cut. Poor Bobby, him getting the least screen time makes me want to cry. But how often do we see Burke's emotional side? I bet he definitely shed a tear when, after working 7 days a week on designing a loft, one of the heroes didn't seem to like it. In the new season of Queer Eye Exploring Japan, the Fab Five faced a language barrier with their heroes, which worked wonders for Bobby. Picture experts watching their heroes sobbing while narrating their hardships, and none of them speak English. But this didn't bother Bobby at all. Not being able to exchange words made him emotional like never before, the expert shared. So while we were waiting there for translation, we were just standing and staring in each other's eyes. And we found that we made even a deeper connection, saying nothing.
At one point, the very first episode where you'll see Yoko, the most amazing woman, her and I would just stand there and sometimes just start crying, looking at each other's eyes because there was just so much love in her eyes.
This season, we get the most decent scene with Bobby getting what he deserves, an apology from the member of the church, one of the heroes. Jump cut to the early season when Burke refused to enter a church to film the episode. Bobby suffered from major PTSD due to his very dark and painful past with the religious community. Despite not being emotional for most of the episodes, this one got to his heart. The hero of the episode was Noah Hepler, the pastor of the quirkiest church in Fishtown, had an open conversation about Bobby's childhood and how greatly his family's church's views harmed him. What broke Bobby was Noah's apology for everything that happened to Bobby.
The church owes you an apology. And as much as I can embody that, I want to say I'm sorry.
That sob sesh touched many viewers and made the audience cry along with them. For Contagious Tears, Bobby gets solid middle place. Now the runner-up is Anthony Porowski, labeled as Kim Kardashian's crying face.
I'm thankful. Oh, come here, Anthony. Anthony.
The food expert Anthony Porowski revealed that years of staying closeted and not acknowledging the spectrum of his sexuality came to an end with him joining the Queer Eye show, especially when it comes to his sensibility and freely expressing his feelings.
And with Jonathan, I get to really just be like a free kid. He's become like a best friend.
Anthony said that being surrounded by the rest of the Fab Five might have made him even gayer. Need more evidence of that?
Groundbreaking. Look at the ears. Look at those ears.
What more could a viewer ask for?
Oozing with excitement. No femme-shaming or toxic masculinity is allowed on set, and Porowski is free to weep as much as he wants. Who would have thought that the guacamole masterclass could make you so emotional? That being said, when you think of the setup, Anthony gets the best place to chit-chat and predispose a person to reveal some honest thoughts. What could be better than a delicious meal followed by wine? Karamo, he's stealing your moment. That's why Anthony has his fair share of cry scenes. He's a goofball in his soul, but when his hero's parents turn into LGBTQ allies, it's hard for him to resist.
She thought her faith told her to judge somebody who's gay, but she chose to see past that. And she saw the individual, she saw the person that her son is, and she changed her mind.
A good coming out story is all it takes. Jonathan Van Ness. More like Jonathan Van Mess. Where do I even begin? The grooming guru is literally a one-man meme machine, a catchphrase trendsetter, the quirkiest and dorkiest of all the Fab Five, a man of many talents. Oh, somebody please stop me. And the ultimate crying queen. Sad, happy, impressed, excited, seeing kittens? Cry it out!
Not a real bite.
The emotional speedometer has broken. Despite growing up being bullied, going through drug addiction, sexual abuse, and tackling an HIV diagnosis, Van Ness is walking comic relief. A one-of-a-kind, adorable goofball who always stays unapologetic and true to himself.
I'm just a little bit more nuanced, but also I'm really kind of in just like in a season of just like really loving myself a lot right now.
Maybe sometimes Jonathan gets overwhelmed with his feelings, so why not cry it all out? The right question would be, is there anything that doesn't make Jonathan cry?
No?
Remember that time when Jonathan was asked to describe his bestie Bobby and this expressive being started crying out of love for his friend?
Or like literally the environment, you're very passionate about that and it's very like organic to you.
Yeah.
Squad goals! The same thing happens when the Queer Eye heroes are finding their element or feeling themselves. There's no better way for Jonathan to congratulate them than by shedding a tear. The ultimate cry queen of the Fab Five, and we stan her. Do you agree with our ranking, or did we miss something? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, folks, and see you soon with more exciting content.